All right. What is up, cat family? It's your boy Cat Dad in the building. I think one of the most important topics and one of the most confusing components to the Mooncat community, Mooncat collection, has been the severed markets. And what I mean by this is the unwrapped Mooncats, the ERC20 standard ones, because they predate ERC721 because it was created in August of 2017, the wrapped unofficial collection and the acclimated collection. There's a lot of confusion. I think this has been one of the main reasons that we've seen a lot of up and down in the Mooncat market. And it's because of the narrative of Mooncats. Mooncats has a very unique narrative. It was rediscovered. It was actually the first rediscovered 2017 NFT project. It might have actually been rediscovered before Etheria and CryptoCats and Lunar Token and EtherRock and all these other ones that seem to be popping up. So that's another first for Mooncats on top of being the first generative project, which I'll cover in a different video. But I want to address the severed market because there's a lot of confusion and people tend to get wrecked because they're buying the wrong wrapper, which displays the wrong metadata and information. So we're going to go through all of this. I'm going to take you guys through it. Hopefully we can ease some tension and encourage you to buy the right cat at the right price in the right market. But in order to do that, I need to share the story because the narrative is just as important to the Mooncat collection as the project itself, at least in my opinion. There can only ever be one Mooncat narrative, just as there can only be one Bitcoin narrative. I don't think they'll ever see anything like this. So we're going to start off at the very beginning when the Mooncat collection was released. And this is one of the first ever tweets by Ponderware, who is the dev team behind Mooncats. Mooncat Rescue, an exploration of user discoverable blockchain collectibles, is now live. Come rescue a Mooncat at mooncatrescue.com. And this is where you'll see we're going to go over to it right now. The Mooncat Rescue, this is the original website and the adoption center. But over here, this is where it says find cats because the narrative behind Mooncats is really cool. So originally on March 12th, when it was rediscovered, you'd go over here, you'd press scan cats, and it would find a cat for you, and then you can rescue it. Obviously, now they've all been rescued, all 25,444. So you can't find any cats. So you actually have to go over to the adoption center. And this is where all of the ERC20s, the unwrapped, or what some people like to call them, wild Mooncats. And they are wild for a handful of reasons, but the main reason is because they are unwrapped, because they are ERC20. Just like CryptoPunks, these are ERC20. So as you can see, these are all the numbered ones. And even if you come over here and press offer, you could see what people are actually trying to sell these for, as you see within the top 10. Wow, a lot have actually been delisted recently. This used to be completely 110. There was also a few buys as well. I bought Mr. Moo, who was number 6, and there's a handful of other Mooncat community members who bought within the top 20 recently. But as you see, you go down here and you can literally just purchase, click it, and you can adopt it. You can't actually request on here anymore. There's been some bug within the original Adoption Center website, which is one of the main reasons why the other 144 about Genesis cats were never released. And I'll cover that in a different video, but it has to do with the bug within the website. So these are all ERC20. And basically what you do with these cats is you take them and you put them into a wrapper so that then they can exist on OpenSea and some of these secondary marketplaces, because the marketplaces are incorporate ERC721, which is the NFT standard. But with Mooncats, they are ERC20, so they have to predate it. So basically what happened is then once they were rediscovered, which I'll show you guys here, as you could see, Ponderware, October 15th, 2017 was one of the last tweets before becoming rediscovered, and it was rediscovered on March 12th. They tweeted out on March 13th, attempting to reestablish contact with the Moonbase, stay tuned. So while Ponderware resurfaced and decided to become more involved in the Mooncat collection, since they were the people who created it. The massive rush of the Mooncat rescue project brought in a unofficial wrapped contract. And so what that means is there was an independent dev who was not Ponderware, created a wrapper so that everyone could immediately start selling. And as you see, this contract alone has 6,674 ETH traded because of this mad rush. You see within the first few days, there was, look at that, 2,000 sales, which we still have not reached yet in one day. Then 1,327, 500, and then it subtly decreases over time. Whereas you look around here now, it's 16 sales, 2 sales, 5 sales, and it's slowly trickled down. And so within this wrapper, I believe there's only like 3,000 cats that exist now in this wrapper, but this is the original wrapper. So this pays royalties to the independent dev who constructed this wrapper, and it does not go to Ponderware. So you see 1.3 thousand owners, floor, the volume, so 3.4 thousand items. And basically with these cats specifically, there's no metadata listed. In order to find out what the mint number is or any of these other specifics, see, there's no properties tabs. You can hit details, which just shows the contract address. Basically what we'd have to do before the Acclimated wrapper came, which I will go into, you'd have to come over to Mooncat Pro, which was created by Dam, who's a community member. You would type in the wrapper number, which is 35, was that 49? Yeah, 3539. Sorry, my bad. And you'd have to hit it here and you'd have to find the cat. You'd have to look and see which way it's facing. And then it comes up with the information here. So you could see the rescue number 5841. It's in 2021 is when it was rescued, and it has all of the other stats. And so this caused a lot of confusion within the beginning days of being rediscovered, because this Mooncat Pro wasn't created either. There was like a little spreadsheet, I don't know where it is anymore, where you'd have to manually input everything. And people were buying there was a premium in the beginning for 0x000 for 3 of them. That was a big premium because in order to find the actual mint date, you'd have to interact with the raw contract. And as you know, I was not familiar with it. Many people weren't familiar with how to go about that process. So then while Ponderware was reestablishing connection, they eventually came in on April 21st. So about 5 weeks after establishing reconnection, they came in heavy. They introduced the Acclimated Mooncats wrapper, the official ERC721 wrapper for Mooncats, developed in collaboration with Fireside Studios. It includes an additional ERC998 functionality. And so what that means is that it allows NFTs to own NFTs, which you've seen the iteration of that, which is the Mooncat Boutique, which I will also go into. So this got a lot of attention, and it shows, to enjoy future progress, we had to acclimate cats. So basically what you had to do is we had to take these wrapped cats and we had to acclimate them over to the Acclimated wrapper, and same with the wild Mooncats as well. We had to go over and wrap them. And then what we got here is the Acclimated wrapper, which you see right here, went live April 22nd, which is 1 day after they announced it. And you see it's pretty slow over time, and then there's a few spurts, and then you see the volume really picking up here. I think this volume right here was for the boutique launch. I may stand corrected, but I believe it was around this day. You see the sales, then they drifted off. And then we saw this recent rush, which I believe has to do with the Cuddle game, which I will also go into, in combination with the boutique and just the NFT market just going bananas. And you see here in the Acclimated wrapper, there's only 3,000 ETH volume, which is about half of the unofficial wrapper, which caused a lot of confusion because when you look at the Mooncat charts, it's rated pretty low, especially with the all-time volume, because the market severed. So you basically have 3 markets, right? You have the official, Acclimated, you have the unofficial, and then you have the wild. But what the Acclimated does on here is it provides a lot of utility and a properties tab, which did not exist in the previous unofficial wrapped collection. Although they are the actual Mooncats, we'll just go to this first one. Shill in your bag, whoever owns this cat. So basically what you see here, once this loads, is that there is a properties tab. And with the properties tab, you see here, this makes it so much easier to understand. You see the rescue year. Do they have clones, mirrors, twins? I'll cover in different video. But most importantly, it shows the rescue year, which makes buying and selling much easier. It shows the expression, the coat. And so this makes it much more digestible or easier to understand. And so Acclimated, outside of having those properties built in, they had a boutique. But I do want to show you also something that happened recently, which also causes a lot of confusion. Over here on NFT 20, who is actually also the creator of the Cuddle game, which I'll go into in a second. There's two different markets here. You see the Unwrapped Mooncats at the top, which has a 0.43 ETH floor. And then you come down to Acclimated, and it's a 0.41 ETH floor with 99. So basically, this liquidity pool was created within days upon rediscovery back in March. And at one point, there was over 1,000 wrapped Mooncats. Can you believe that? And so then this acclimated pool was created a few months ago. And basically, what's also hindered the progress is that there's usually a huge arbitrage opportunity here where the acclimated floor will be much lower than the wrapped floor because there's much more activity and we have some paper hands so they could push the floor lower on this. But you can't take this wrapped cat and then acclimate it if the floor is higher. Usually you want the acclimated price to be higher so that you can take the wrapped cat and then bag a few ETH or a small denomination, 0.001 or 2, but then also acclimate it in the process so that we could get them all onboarded into the same collection. Because with Mooncats, I think now we have an acclimated position of about 14,400 Mooncats out of 25,000. So we still have a lot to go. So we saw earlier there's 14,000 of these, there's 3,000 wrapped. So that means that there's about 7,000 wild Mooncats. Some people prefer the wild ones. They think there's going to be a premium in the future for unwrapped. Maybe there is. I haven't seen a premium exist thereafter, but this is also an area if you just want liquidity, if you want to dump it to get some tokens, there's also a mechanism attached to this. So in reality, there's actually 5 Mooncat markets. And so it doesn't always show through the official wrap. That's why you see the low volume. That's why people think that Mooncats has been stalling, and it has been going up and down, but it's because of the confusion. And so Pondware has done a good job at encouraging people to acclimate. This also gives royalties to Pondware as well so that they can continue development because there's 3 devs and then a community manager. So we need them to be working on this full time. That's also what provides a lot of value to the project is that you have the original dev team working on it. And they actually have the cats because I bought Mr. Move from them to prove that it was actually them because they're the only people that would have the keys. So we have the Mooncat boutique accessory. This was the first ERC998 or 998 applicable launch that happened. And you see basically people are coming in here and anybody can add accessories to the store. It does have to get approved by Pondware so that there isn't anything inappropriate or that could be taken out of context or be offended by. And I believe there's almost 1,000 items in here. I think it's close to 700 or 800, but you see a lot of these range from 0.05 to 0.02. There's usually like some 0.1s around here. Yeah, big brain. As you guys saw in the first video, I dressed Darth Kitty originally with top items that were originally in the first day here. And so you could see this one's created by Pondware with the moon. This one's Dame's a big community member. And Kimonas also as well. So you could see some of these people get some premiums just because of the name of the designer. You could think of it as, Louis Vuitton or any of these premium luxury brands that exist in the real world. Some similar things are happening here as well. So the boutique's cool. Some people aren't a big fan. They think it decreases the value of the Mooncat. I think it's still to be determined. Although in the 2021 collections, we have seen a slight 10 to 20 or 30% premium with accessorized cats. So it's still to be determined, because I don't think there's any collection out there in the NFT world or in the physical world that has a existing scarce asset collection that is programmable and can be changed and customized to your specific liking. If there is out there, then please comment below, let me know. So after the acclimation, Pondaware, 2 separate times, they had the early acclimator helmet, and then they just recently, for the 4-year anniversary, they had a cupcake and a birthday hat, where in order to purchase these or claim them, you had to be acclimated at a certain date and time. So that's onboarded a bunch of people. But then also with the new evolution of Cuddle Pet, which is a game. So cudl.finance, it's a play to earn overlay that has been added separately. It's created by the Muse team, who does NFT 20, which I showed you. But it's a play to earn overlay, which I think has a lot of potential, which I will go ahead and show you guys right after this, because as of recording, they just came out with an update that I'll show you. So what's cudl.finance? The token, the ERC20 token, is Cuddle. It's a fun game created by Very Nifty, same team behind NFT 20, which I just showed you. Pet your Mooncat to earn Cuddle and ERC20 token once a day by simply clicking claim rewards. Use Cuddle to buy different foods for your Mooncat and move up the leaderboard. The higher you are in the leaderboard, the more Cuddle you'll mine. Careful though, if you don't buy food for your Mooncat and your countdown reaches 0, your Mooncat will become too grumpy and will leave the game for good. So basically, they talk about risks. It's experimental. They're still in beta right now, but I believe they're about to go into to alpha, if that's what it's called, or into the full ended game. So basically, what it is every 48 hours or so, you have to feed your cat. If it goes to 0, then your cat is dead. And they haven't announced the bazaar yet, which is supposed to come, which is with milk. Basically, you stake your tokens and you can earn milk, which will be used in the bazaar. And in the bazaar, they're going to allow features like reviving your cat, battles, and so on and so forth. You could farm it to provide liquidity to Uniswap. And then here's basically what it earns. To start your cat in the game, you burn 6 tokens. You have to pay the gas fee, which we know gas is pretty high. And you burn 6, so you have to go on to Uniswap, buy 6 and burn it, give it to life, and then you can immediately claim 6. And then every 24 hours, you can have the ability to claim your rewards, which is 6 Cuddle per 24 hours. But as your cat levels up, then that 6 becomes 7, 7 becomes 8. I think the number 1 cat in the leaderboard is claiming like 72 Cuddle per day. And so they actually just made an announcement today. As you see this, August 15th, it's August 15th. They're announcing some changes. There was a lot of issues and controversy with the game, but now they're installing less gas with the reduction. They managed to achieve it somehow with compounding, and these big brains who are much bigger than mine have the ability to do this. 90% less emissions. So they're installing burning mechanics with gas reduction. There's the battles that I talked about. There's the bazaar. Hibernation. So if you want to take time off, that'll be huge, because if you're going out of town, it makes it really tough to mine your cats, especially if you're secured through a ledger or hardware wallet. So I believe this is going to be a huge catalyst, and the market has responded pretty well. You see, literally since that announcement, it literally went up over 100%. What is that? From $3 all the way up to $8. So it went 2.5x in the matter of 30 minutes. So I think the market's responding to that pretty well. A lot of liquidity has been added recently. And as you can see, the volume is increasing now as well. Probably people getting their cats online because they don't want to miss a boat. Yeah, look at all these transactions literally since that announcement. So I think this is going to be a big catalyst for Mooncats continue to grow. But of course, you can't participate in this game unless you acclimate your cats or you have acclimated cats. And also, there's all these cool features. I believe is it on here? I believe there's a feature that's going to be added to Mooncat Pro that will show you if your cat is dead or alive, so that you can actually play into the game. So guys, Acclimate Your Cats. As you know, that is the wrapper that is sponsored by Ponderware. They're the one that are actively developing on it. They've put a lot of work into this and they're working very hard. So stay out of the wrapper. You can get good deals on the unofficial wrapper. I mean, you can get good deals on it. People are capitulating very hard. As we know, this tends to be very common in the NFT marketplace. But yeah, so there's, as I clarify it, well, you can see somebody's actually offering adoptions, which generally won't be claimed if the person doesn't see it because of the bug. So we have the wild ERC20 cats right here. Then we have the ERC721 cats, which is the unofficial, created by an independent dev upon rediscovery. And then we have the acclimated cats, which is, this is the Ponderware logo. This is supported by Ponderware. It pays Ponderware, I think, a 2.5% royalty, might be 3.5%, somewhere around there. And we need to get this up to 25,000. I don't think we'll ever reach that number, but we'll get as close as possible so that it makes it so we get all of these wild cats in one area where it's easy to trade. You could play, and now you could make money. You can accessorize. They have a roadmap that they just came out with recently, which I will cover as well. So I hope this helped you guys. Comment below. Make sure that you like this video as well. This is episode 2 of the Cat Dad series. And just let me know what other things need to be covered. And as we train these cats, as we pet them, as we accessorize them, this is going to be one of the largest NFT communities in existence over time. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time. Cat Dad's out.